Hello, America. My name is Ronnell Jackson. In 1984, I was convicted of murder and kidnapping in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. After serving a total of 34 years, I was released from prison on June 19 of this year. I did the crimes and I did the time. But that is not the end of the story, neither is it the entire story. It wasn't until 2006 when I first heard the term targeted individual. I became a targeted individual, or TI for short, in the early 70s. If you searched the web, you will find testimonies of hundreds or maybe thousands of TIs. For those of you who are uninformed, TIs are people who have been victims of organized stalking by both strangers and acquaintances, but mostly strangers. TIs have also been the victims of RF weapons, RF meaning radio frequency. Agencies like the NSA have created sophisticated technology of this type by manipulating the electromagnetic spectrum. They have a system called remote neural monitoring, RNM for short, where a victim's bioelectric field can be remotely detected and that person can be tracked 24/7. RNM has the ability to tap into the brain's visual and auditory cortex. On their end, they have monitors and speakers that display and vocalize whatever their victim sees through their own eyes and hears through their own ears. And because they're able to access the human brain, they can send voices into a victim's head, send images into their brain when they're asleep, and affect the body in many ways. Ultimately, they can murder whomever they choose. Everyone is a potential victim. Unfortunately, many are of the belief that TIs are mental cases. They can't bring themselves to believe that the United States government would be involved in such evil activities against its own citizens, or that such technology exists at all. To those people, I say, do your research. This technology is backed up by documents and patents. And for your information, a former CNN reporter named Chuck DeCaro submitted himself as a guinea pig to test this technology. Look it up on YouTube. As for myself, I've been a targeted individual since the early 70s. I was in the blind during that time. There was no internet back then. Neither did I know what I know now. And eventually, the fear, frustration, and desperation resulted in a murder and a kidnapping. I spent 34 years in prison because the people behind this technology tormented me past the point of tolerance. And after all these years, nothing has been done to bring these evil activities to the nation's attention. Mainstream press will report on anything except this topic. My message is relevant because it applies to the entire population. Why? Well, first, if you are among those who are ignorant of the fact that such technology exists and that it has been used against the public without their knowledge for the past 40 plus years, you are the most vulnerable. I say that because there is a difference between a targeted individual and one who is not. A targeted individual is aware that he has been singled out. He knows what to expect from day to day, and he prepares himself as best he can and does his best to expose his tormentors. One who is not targeted goes through his or her daily routines unaware of such unusual goings on. However, their ignorance is not bliss, because the people behind this technology are vicious and well organized. They've had decades of concealment, the cooperation of willing collaborators, and the closed lips of the media to keep it that way. One who is not targeted is ignorant of the sophistication of such technology and the diabolical nature of the people who implement it. These people use radio waves and frequencies like weapons. They use them to invade the human brain and body with malicious intent, without their victims' consent and without the slightest regard of causing irreparable damage or death. I and many TIs are aware of the many effects this technology can have on the brain and the body. I am of the opinion that their electronic rape of the human physiology has caused considerable damage to many unsuspecting individuals. One such probable effect is brain cancer. A thorough study should be done to determine the rise of brain cancer in this country and the world, or cancer in general. What if this technology can cause heart attacks, aneurysms, lethal blood clots, hemorrhaging, seizures, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's? If so, we're talking about cold-blooded murder and maiming. These are possibilities that the untargeted individual isn't aware of, but he should be. Even people of the media and people who have been employed as spotters or stalkers are subject to this technology. The people behind this technology respects no one, and it doesn't matter your social status. For an example, the late Gloria Naylor, spelled Naylor, an acclaimed author and playwright, had been a targeted individual herself. She wrote about it in a book titled 1996. And in 2006, she was interviewed by an NPR reporter named Ed Gordon. If you log on, you can listen to the entire interview. Sadly, Miss Naylor died of a heart attack on September 28, 2016. Personally, I believe she was methodically murdered because of the hope and encouragement she instilled in her fellow TIs. To put it more bluntly, I believe this cursed technology was used as an instrument to induce a heart attack. Nevertheless, there is a remedy to this government-sanctioned madness, and I have the solution. Within the next couple of months, I will be releasing another more detailed video describing the events that led up to my crimes, trial, conviction, and my time in prison. My goal is to prove that I was and continue to be a targeted individual. Because if I prove it's happening to me, I prove it's happening to every TI in this country and abroad. As I stated, I have the solution. Stay tuned, and thanks for your time.